Just wanted to make a quick video to give you further impressions that I've had of the car now that I've had it for about coming up on 1 month or so. First thing, I'm totally blown away by what I think Rivian's forte is, and that's really the drive modes and suspension setup that they have here. This truck is pushing 9,000 pounds, and this hydraulic roll control system here is like magic. So the hydraulic roll control system, for those who don't know what it is, basically in traditional trucks and most vehicles you have sway bars that connect the wheels on each axle. With the R1T, you have 4 motors that are digitally controlled, which I'll get to in a little bit. But basically, because it's an off-road vehicle, you're going to enter in at various angles. Sometimes your wheel is going to be lifted off the ground. So Rivian, the R1T does not have the traditional stabilizer bar setup. Instead, what it does is it uses the active dampers. It uses basically the active dampers to assist in terms of handling body roll. And in this truck, it has been so impressive. Like, I have not experienced a truck or a body on frame SUV that has had like this little virtually non-existent body roll. And the way this truck moves, it defies physics. But like the basis of the way that it handles is that skateboard, and it brings your center of gravity down low, but the adaptive damping, the adjustable ride height, and different drive modes that the engineers that are basically wizards have tuned, it enables this truck to be super capable off-road, and at the same time, there's no trade-off. It can do so many different things. It can act like a sports car, and I truly mean that. When I put this thing into the drive mode of sport, what it does is it lowers the vehicle, and there's various settings. You can have low or lowest. Truthfully, I think the best spot is really changing the ride quality to stiff, ride height to low, brake regen on high. It really gets you that sports car feel, and you can actually just go ahead and goose it. And going a little over speed limit there. What's great is it handles like it's on rails. Body roll is basically non-existent, and it feels like a proper sports car. One thing, the steering feel though, it stays feeling like a truck, which is fine because it is a truck, but you have that electric torque down from 0 RPM and you just go. And the truck shouldn't move like this. Now, for those that are more race biased or they like that track feel, you can actually go ahead and go to lowest and put it on full stiff, and it feels like a car that has race tuned suspension, that's basically on coilovers. And some people like that feel. You know, you basically feel the road a lot more. Truthfully, I don't. I would rather leave it on low and stiff. I think that's kind of like the sweet spot, and it's no mystery really why that's the default setting that it goes to when you go into sport. For the most part though, you're going to be using all-purpose. This is like your everyday. It has your ride-on soft. I really emphasize using brake regen on high so you can get the most range. Use your hydraulic brakes as little as possible to extend the brake life. And again, the way that this thing does, there's like no body roll. This is incredible. So overall, driving impressions, drive modes, it's by far, this has been the most shocking, most best thing about the car, and about the truck, I apologize. And it's just so good. It's just so good. When you nail the throttle, it's like you're being shot out of a rail gun. It handles like it shouldn't this size. And with this latest software update, I'm actually noticing a couple things. Driver Plus is a little bit different. It actually tells you a lot more stuff now. Rear cross traffic alert, it actually shows you on the main display what's going on. Yeah, I love it. Like, I really love it. For a truck, it's fantastic. It does so many things well. And moving on to it, like voice controls work pretty well too. Alexa, turn on the driver's seat heater. And my driver's seat heater's on. So I would say her name more, but the thing is, it's just too much when I'm actually driving. But a lot of people like think, oh, I want the physical buttons or whatever it is. Like, if voice works this well, you really don't need it. And going to audio, I would actually turn on sound, but it doesn't kind of make sense because it'll trigger copyrights and stuff. But moving on to the next topic of range. So one thing that's kind of like blown me away is there really isn't too much vampire drain. And for those that are new to EVs, this is when the car's sitting and it wants to make sure the battery's at the right temperature for longevity and such, and making sure that the systems are on. I have not experienced a ton of vampire drain, even in the cold weather that we've been having. So yesterday we had like a feels like of about -1 degree Fahrenheit, and overnight I only really lost about 2 to 3 miles of range, and that's really quite good. So that's something that's been very surprising to me, the lack of vampire drain. The car has been super efficient, and the regen is so good. It's actually like, it feels like a downshift plus a little bit more if you were in a manual car. It's actually more regen than I have in my Tesla, and yeah, it's just so good. The brake hold works fabulous. Like, it's really the truck 2.0. And what's cool is when you change the drive modes, in my previous videos, it actually live updates the rated range that you have. And I like that because it shows you the impacts of the different things that the car is doing, the truck is doing. In terms of the real world range that I'm seeing, I am on the 20-inch all-terrain tires, so it's going to be a little detrimental to the rated range with the trade-off of having the tires with more grip. So I've been seeing about minimum like 240, 250 miles of range, which is pretty darn good considering that it's the winter and I have the heat going. Yeah, and it's really, really good. And I've done different things where I don't do the EV best practices. And when I talk about that, it's really in the winter or the summer. What you want to do is you want to precondition the cabin for 2 reasons. You want to be more comfortable when you're walking into the car or truck, really. So when you have the AC going, when you have the heat going in the winter, while it's plugged in, and also you're turning on the car and you're conditioning the batteries at the same time, because in the winter especially, you will notice that your regenerative braking is going to be lowered simply because the batteries need to get to the proper temperature to operate well. And when you precondition, you prime the car basically, just like a gas car, you're warming it up. So you're getting it to that proper level to work like a proper EV. Ride comfort in this truck is fabulous. I think the closest thing that I've actually driven, or what this feels like, is a 4Runner off-road basically, and that's like super high praise. That car is so comfortable, and we have craters in New York, and it's just been so good. Cabin noise also really, really good, really sealed. This horn is really, really loud, and I barely hear it from the inside, so it's quite insulated in the cabin. Infotainment, Spotify works fabulous. Bluetooth audio, as of right now, what it shows you, it mirrors what is currently playing on your phone. So let's say you have an album or playlist highlighted in your Apple Music, or whatever other app you may be using, that's what's going to show Tune-in works just like any other like Tesla or vehicle. I haven't really had any complaints. So right now there's no ability to use a thumb drive or hard drive to play music from yet. I say yet because it could be a software update down the road. So these are the kinds of things where this car has an advantage. It's going to get better with time. It's going to get better with feedback. I'm already seeing an improvement in Driver Plus. It recognizes so much more. And yeah, like I've been trying to find things that I don't like about it, and it's really hard. It's really hard because it does stuff so well. It's like it doesn't even feel like I'm in a pickup truck. Like it's just so good. It handles like a third of its size, and that's when you know you have something good. Like they made such a nice product. It manifests itself in it. Like they really thought about what this truck has to do, and they really want to have it do everything. It could be the everyday vehicle. The gear tunnel has been fabulous. I've been using it for stuff that I don't want in the front truck, meaning like if you're getting groceries and stuff that melts or whatever it is or leaves condensation, put it in the gear tunnel. It has a rubber mat in it. It's great. I took my dog. I put my dog in there to go to the dog park. I can't recommend that, but it's been great at containing her fur. And like aesthetically, the car is beautiful. I mean, the truck is beautiful. Like the matte wood feels good, looks good, and all the different lights. What's cool is like Rivian's artwork in the drive modes. Like whoever did this, absolutely amazing. I think it's beautiful looking. And yeah, like it's so good. This truck is so good. Blind spot warning. It has like the little lights on it. I know, like, truthfully, I don't need it. I think it's kind of pointless, but especially if you have the main display. But this truck is perfect for those that are especially perfect for those that are moving into their first electric vehicle, because it kind of like transitions you with things like the blind spot warning. The controls are here. It's not buried in a sub menu. The voice works great. I know some people are not too happy about the vents that you use the touchscreen on, and what's cool is you actually see them moving as I'm moving this thing around. I happen to like this a lot because it's more precise, and I think it opens up the possibility for a lot of things with future software, in the sense like you can have an oscillating vent, which is kind of cool, I think, but who knows, right? But anyway, I think it's much more precise. You set it, you forget it, you don't really worry about it. It's not something to freak out over. You can have our assistant here set the temperature. Like, it just works. This truck just works. There's nothing for me to like nitpick on. It's just so good. Cup holders here, they come out, works great. When I get like food from a restaurant or something, I go ahead and I put it here in the empty cubby. It's like amazing. And man, I love sport mode. It just feels so good. I'm using it right now. Yeah, like overall, like this truck is great. Yes, I had oh yeah, right. So following up my tonneau cover, Rivian service is amazing. Literally, it's amazing. Like they picked up the truck from my house. They had a repair plan all set up. They told me exactly what they were going to be doing. Everything was contactless. They kept me updated as the truck was being fixed. And I had the truck back in a span of like 48 hours for something that I think would take a lot of other companies more time. Is so impressive for a startup. I think they could have actually had it back to me sooner, but like they were just taking the extra time for QA. Loaners are available, but the thing is, right now they're scaling, so it would be a rental car, which is perfectly fine. I didn't need the mode of transport, so I just kind of like I bypassed on it because they picked up the truck from my house, fixed it, and then they were back. Car was back in my driveway. I know the best service is no service, but realistically, if you do need service, like that's how it was. Their concierge service was like amazing. Like I really can't say much else about it. Even with other luxury brands, with my other vehicles, yes, I would drop off the car to service. I would sit there in the leather lounge chairs, eat cookies or popcorn or whatever nonsense they would give you. Truthfully, I just wanted to save my time, and Rivian helped me do that. The tonneau cover works great. I'm not 100% sure what they did, but what I know for a fact what they had is the slats look slightly different now. So the fitment's a lot better. It works. It's been working really well. Like there's no complaints that I have with it. Yeah, this truck is awesome. Like I don't know. Somebody inquired about Neo mode, which I assume is like having the car go into its lowest setting. I have given the feedback that they need to make like a step for those that are shorter. It's admittedly a little bit trickier to get into the vehicle, but I'm sure that once these are really going in terms of production and into more customer hands, I think the aftermarket's going to have a field day with it. Probably making like a hatch for the pickup, or I think the running boards and steps are going to be huge. That's going to sell like hotcakes when it's made. And I mean, all I could really say is this truck has that's the seatbelt warning that somebody on the forum was asking about. So the light's on because I have something in the back, but it doesn't like bother you incessantly. So overall, my thoughts: drive modes and suspension, those engineers are wizards. Truck performs great, and yeah, for a startup that is ramping 3 different vehicles at the same time, which is incredibly difficult, this truck is amazing. And all I can say that the stuff that's coming out of Normal is anything but. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to make more content as I get more updates and even more time with the truck. And thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. I had to throw that in there. So until next time, enjoy and